Welcome to the Eastmans Hunting Journal. Today's show is going to be on antelope. You know, Wyoming has more antelope than it has people. And growing up in Wyoming like I did, hunting antelope became second nature. I have a friend named Ed Parodi. Now Ed has worked for over 20 years for the BLM as a range manager. While he was spending all that time out there here in Wyoming, he developed tactics and techniques for calling in antelope. So come along with us as we go out there, and Ed is going to give us some real good, solid information and show us how to call antelope. You know, years ago, I was with Ed Parodi out in Sanddraw, Wyoming, and we're going along there, and Ed was telling me about this new way of calling antelope, and I laughed at him. I said, "You can't call an antelope in." He says, "Just watch this." So he bailed out of the truck, and I filmed him calling up this buck antelope and crawling along here and holding this buck. Now I want to let you know that that fence in the background isn't holding that buck in. This is BLM ground out in Wyoming. Now watch him call that buck and stop him right here. Even after he scared him. Isn't that unbelievable? Ed has really refined this antelope calling. He spends a lot of time out here. He used to be a BLM range manager, so he spent his lifetime out here and was able to use this call and refine these different calls. Hey, for you folks that don't believe that Ed can walk and call up an antelope, here's another sequence. Now watch the reaction to this buck. He will tolerate Ed just so far. But this is another buck on public land, and this buck is hunted during the hunting season. And Ed is able to walk right up on him. Now watch this buck look at Ed and say, "Just what are you? You sound like an antelope." You don't look like one. Now watch what happens when the antelope finally gets tired of Ed. He turns and runs, and when he does, on his rump, his white patch, watch the hair stand straight up. The reason they do that is to let other antelope in the area know, hey, something's funny and I'm leaving. Now watch him right here. Oop, there goes the hair up on the rump. Goodbye, antelope.
I found that by using the snort, almost invariably I can stop a running buck. At least the first time I can get him stopped for either a good look to judge him or to take a shot at him or a camera shot. But I can stop him most every time the first time. If he's a curious buck, some of them are different. They're just like people. Some are curious, some aren't. Once I get him stopped, then I can start going into the other calls and probably put the sneak on him and get a heck of a lot closer than you ever would without a call. And what I'll do is I'll just go through these real quick, and the snort, and I use this, remember, I use this for stopping antelope, basically for stopping them and getting them held for either a shot or a stock. And that goes just like this. That's basically the snort.
Now I caught this buck coming up here. Now, let me set this up for you folks. This buck has a doe and another buck is coming right up on him, and he runs right up here, and listen to him call to him. Listen to him. Now I got the High Island buck right here, and you hear me calling him. And he'll spin around and listen to him. That's what those antelope bucks will do, telling me to stay away from him and his does. That's what we're trying to mimic with these calls. Coming up, Ed is going to show us his secret on how to call and get this close to antelope out there on public land.
At that point, if I think that I can put a stock on him and he's a curious buck, then I'll do some snorts and mix in those wheezes as I'm approaching him. And it'll hold him curious. It'll also, you know what I figured out, Mike, is that the only thing that makes that sound out here in the desert is other antelope. And being antelope, they in their mind say it's okay. It's another antelope.
You know, it's just before the rut. Antelope rut starting about last week of August, and this buck is just now coming in the rut. And look how Ed moves on him, uses those wheeze calls, and look at that buck look at him like, I don't think you're an antelope. Watch him cock his head like Ed says they do, and realizes you're not an antelope, and he turns and walks away. But you can do this too. Time after time, I've watched Ed do this, get right up on wild antelope, hunted antelope. Not every time. And you can do the same thing if you learn how to use his call. You got right up on him.
Yeah, the first time when I started talking to him, he didn't get too excited. As a matter of fact, he was kind of wondering what I was. You know, it's early in August, so they're not really in the rut. Although I did notice when he dropped over in that little hole and I lost him, I knew he was close. When I got up there, I noticed he was rubbing and scraping. So the constant chattering and stuff at him got him. Obviously, that's his herd of does, and he's had them since March.
And this is his area, and we come in here, and you talk like an antelope, and he got all excited. Let's catch up to Roger Sellner with the Eastmans Hunting Journal's World Record Elk Tour and see what he's found for us.
My name is Roger Sellner. I produce the Eastmans Hunting Journal World Record Elk Tour. In the past 5 years, we have brought you more than 50 of the greatest elk in North America. We travel coast to coast, doing 25 to 30 shows a season. More than 1 million people have the opportunity to see the great elk. We call it the greatest elk. It's the most unbelievable elk rack, we believe, in the 100 years. It was taken in the late 1800s in Wyoming by Colonel Archibald Rogers. It belongs to the National Museum of Boone and Crockett. It's really palmated, has 10 drop tines. The rack weighs almost 50 pounds.
Coming up, 2 friends of mine come here to Wyoming and take 2 good trophy antelope using that call of Ed's. You don't want to miss this hunt. Now that we have some good solid information on behavior of antelope and how to call, why don't we go on a hunt with 2 buddies of mine that are from California. They both got antelope permits for Wyoming, and they allowed me to kind of tag along as they hunted antelope. You'll watch them use that call to stop their antelope so that they can get a good quality shot. We're out here in Wyoming hunting antelope about the 20th of October. You know, the rut has been over for about 3 weeks. And at this time, these antelope gather up in herds for the winter. That's the way they fend off predators during the winter time, is they gather in herds. Now, Arnie has found a buck here, a kind of a single buck that's 15 inches tall or better, and probably will score Boone and Crockett 77, 78. Here he is right here. You notice that he's limping? Well, he probably got in a fight during the rut, and he's injured his shoulder a bit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just take our time, sit here, and wait till that buck disappears over that ridge and down into a little gully, and then we'll try to make our stalk. So many times people will try to hurry a stalk like this and booger an antelope. You know, they have a 20-power eye. They can see you 3 miles away, and he's looking right at us. But we're hoping as soon as he dumps off into that canyon there, he'll forget all about us. Well, we slip up there, and guess what he does? We peek over, and there he is, 300 yards away, looking right at us on the other side of that kind of gully. There he is, right there. Take your time, Arnie. Good shot. What an unbelievable shot. Down goes a trophy antelope. You notice Arnie's using that bipod. That really helps out in this country. If you got a dead rest like that, your chances of taking a good quality shot just really gets to be 100% almost. Yep, that buck is 15 inches if he's an inch. Just a real good trophy antelope, and I know Arnie's really happy with him. Hey, you got a good shot on him, Arnie.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I think he's over 15 inches here.
Yeah, he's a little over, and
Yeah.
he's probably going to score pretty good.
Yeah, he's a real nice buck. We saw a lot of buck antelope out here, and I think he's the biggest one we saw.
Yeah, he's the one that impressed me when I seen him over there.
He's just a real nice Wyoming antelope, and hunting them early or late like this, we get them all bunched up, and we can. How many bucks do you think we saw?
Oh, we saw 200-300 today. They were all over the place.
200 or 300 antelopes.
Antelopes,
with,
not bucks.
20 bucks.
No, I think we seen closer to 30 bucks.
30 bucks.
There was 4 or 5 just in that one bunch over there.
So we've done real well. Stay tuned. Joe and I, the next day, go after a trophy antelope that would score over 80. You don't want to miss this. The next day, Joe finds this buck here. Now, this is a real heavy 15-inch plus antelope. Now, this antelope will go probably over 80 inches. He's really got the mass, but he's about 3 miles away. Is that the buck you saw yesterday afternoon, Joe?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I think it is, yeah.
Well, he's got over 5-inch diggers, and he's over 15 inches tall. I think he's pushing 80 inches.
You do?
Yeah, it's a very good trophy antelope.
Well, you think we can get on him?
Yeah, I think we can ease our way down through here and get you set up. And he probably won't run because there's some other goats over here to the right. Let me look again here. Yeah, let's ease down there, and I think we can get you a good shot at a trophy antelope here.
Well, I'm ready. If you think we can do it, I'm ready for it.
Good. Joe and I eased right over there and can set up, and here comes the buck going towards his does. He's running. Get ready and get set up. He'll stop here. And here he comes right here. Good shot at him.
Tell me when you think.
Okay. I use my call right here. That's what that call's good for. What a shot. Joe made a great shot, went right through the buck's shoulder. He didn't even know what hit him, and he flipped over in that what I call an animal death flip.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well.
Thank you. Hey, in that last journal you described how to measure these things, it really worked. I'm really happy. We looked at a lot of antelope. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you went into how to measure it. That was a good.
This is a very nice antelope. 6-inch diggers and 15 inches. Now I measured this buck. He scored 80.5 gross. He's got 6-inch diggers. He's 15.5 inches tall. His second measurement below his digger is 7.5 inches. Just a great antelope. Now you know these buck antelope, they fight. They're probably one of the most ferocious ungulas during rut. And I've got some rare footage here. Here's 2 bucks that are fighting. Now I never get any closer in this because I was afraid that if I moved they would split up and I wouldn't get this good footage we have here. Notice that 2 of them look like they're locked up. The one is pulling away and it seems like it's not helping. Look at that, he pushes and pulls. And you know, they really are kind of locked up here. But they'll fight around here, and they fought for over 5 minutes. Now we're only going to show you a few minutes of this, but they fought over 5 minutes here. Here they go at it again, and they unlocked right there, and then they go back together. Boom, right here. They're back together again. They just what are they fighting over? Territory. People don't realize that antelope are very territorial. You take a dominant buck, he'll have a territory that he scrapes and puts his scent out, and he'll keep other bucks away from his does, and he has that territory, and that's his territory. Well, when you get two bucks like this that are equally matched, and they come into a territory like this, one of them is going to have to give up. And they are really, like I said, very, very aggressive. And these little antelope, even though they only weigh 90 or 110 pounds, they really go at it here, as you can see. In fact, in the Eastmans Hunting Journal, we've had stories in the past of locked up antelope and photos of a locked up set. These bucks are really, really going at it. Just unbelievable. Around and around they go here. Like I said, they come into rut about the last week in August, and it lasts for about 3 weeks. And at that time, when you're out there looking at these antelope and videoing them or hunting them, these bucks don't stand still for 1 second. They're running here, running there, just going everywhere. It's just unbelievable the time that they spend just on their feet. Whoop, there they go. One finally gave up there, and he's off and running. Both of them got their tongues hanging out.